Carol Holt from North Carolina Central University. My question is, you're talking about networking. When is it appropriate? What holidays or what seasons are appropriate to send out messages? Because I don't want to be offensive, because I know some people don't celebrate certain holidays. So what holidays would you say are appropriate to contact?
Great question. I'll let Keith chime in on this. Great question. What you can do is keep it generic if you don't know, right? If you've established a relationship and you know that the person celebrates Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever, then you can be specific because you've established that relationship. It's part of why you need to cultivate the relationship the right way. But if you say happy holidays, generally speaking, you'll be fine. Even a person that doesn't necessarily celebrate holidays won't be offended at that. So keep it generic until you know more. And do it because it's, you know, whatever, however you engage. Some people it's holidays. Some people it's just every couple of months, I was thinking about you, just wanted to reach out to you. Or a great example, and her name will come to me in a second. There's a young lady that just keeps updating me on where her career is. Every time there's an event that happens in her career, I get an update saying, I'm going here, I'm going here. Aida Knox was another student that we gave a scholarship to last year. She let us know, she let many of us know when she was talking about going on a trip to Europe, when she was fundraising for a trip to Europe. When she went out to Europe, she'd let us know. So those are the kinds of things. Mr. Rinkwing.
We had quite a conversation. He's graduating in a couple of weeks, and sort of like everybody else, you know, a little apprehensive. And he said, gee, I kind of, he knew I had a military background. He said, I kind of thought about the military. And I said, you know, you're getting your BS degree. If you're going to the military, you officer material. And a few minutes ago, where's Art? Art walks up to shake my hand and says, hi, I'm a military intelligence officer. I went to OCS. So we just hooked them up during the lunch hour. Now there's a benefit for me. It's a finder's fee for Carlos.
Thank you for that.
Hey, Deron Finney, North Carolina Central University. Hey, I just wanted to, for both of you guys, I remember last year, Suni, you had used some example about a car, riding in a car. Yeah. That was really beneficial to me. And also, Mr. Keith White, you used the example about the Eagles. And I wanted to know if you guys could share both of those examples with us.
Sure. Well, I'm going to give you two stories about Eagles. Number one, I was talking about leadership. And I forget what the question was to me, but I was saying one of the tough parts about being a leader, especially when you ascend, is the fact that it gets a little lonely. And if you ever see eagles, big, beautiful bird, very powerful, very strong, but you never ever see a flock of them. They always fly alone. That's what they do. And I was reminding you guys, as a little bit of as an analogy, that there will be times when you have to stand alone, stand separate, be okay with being alone with your particular opinion or the body of work that you're working on or what have you, because eagles don't flock, and that's for a reason, okay? The second thing I want to tell you about eagles, which I think is pertinent, my family and I took a cruise to Alaska a few years back, and you know, you learn about all types of stuff when you're on a cruise. And one of the other things I learned about eagles is the fact that they prey on salmon that swims around as their prey. And when an eagle swoops down to grab a salmon, if the salmon is more than half the eagle's body weight, it will pull the eagle down and drown it. And I thought, really? An eagle? And they said, yes. Once an eagle locks its talons on, it won't let go. And the analogy for me, for you guys, is that, as you're on your path, your career path, your professional path of growth and development, the one thing you have to be careful about is locking on to people and problems and situations that you've sized up to be more than half your body weight. Very important. And I love my family like none other, but I got a brother who's more than half my body weight, okay? And you want to help, and you want to do all of these things, but guess what? We'll pull you down and drown you. And you have to be okay with, I'll wait until they're lighter. When they're lighter, or when they're somewhere where I can get to them, that's when I'm going to help. You can't help everybody, okay, if you're helping yourself. If you're helping yourself. You want to get to a place where you're strong enough, and your body weight is large enough where you can help. But if you're not able to help them with that homework assignment, with that test, with their rent, with the gas, or whatever the situation is, and it's going to pull you down, let go. Let go. I can't do that. And you have to be clear about that up front. Up front. You have to make the decision now. You can't wait till the situation comes up and you're wondering, well, okay, all right, I'll go with you, or I'll help you, or I'll do this, or let me see what's in my bank account. You got to make that decision now. Very important.
The analogy I used was at the beginning of the student day. It was the analogy of it, what if I gave you a car? What if I gave you a car, let's say it was whatever your dream car was, which for me happened to be a BMW, and I gave you a souped up 6 Series BMW, best car you could want. But I didn't give you the keys. You're sitting in a car. And the analogy I drew for that was one of the beautiful things about having a degree is being able to say, I went to this school, I had this degree. Or having an accreditation or some sort of certificate, I went to this place and I have this certificate, this. But the key was actually the networking, which is probably why you made that point. The key is the relationships, because I made a point of a survey I always talk about. The U.S. Bureau of Statistics says that, labor statistics says 70% of all jobs are obtained by who you know. 70%. Now, I will challenge that data probably gets progressively aggressive. It's probably close to 90% as you move up the corporate ladder, because the number of jobs are becoming more and more finite. And so what I talked about in that scenario, and I went into more detail, obviously, but we don't have time for that. What I talked about in that scenario is your education is a great vehicle. Driven correctly, with the right horsepower, with the right steering, you are already ahead of the game. But I can be driving a Pinto, which some of you guys may not have heard of, and I can beat your BMW if you don't make the right decisions.
That's right.
And you don't navigate it the right way. You heard a lot of people out here who beat executives with masters, and you just had Jay come up here and talk about the fact that he has an associate's degree, but look where he is today and look where some people are with degrees. Don't get too hung up with your degree. It's a phenomenal accomplishment. I will tell anybody who's debating whether they want to go to grad school, go. Probably, there won't be a decision you'll regret. I want you to go. You should go. You'll never regret going to grad school. So if you're debating it and you can afford to do it, do it. If you can't afford to do it, then find a company that'll help you pay for it. Go to school. There's a reason why you heard a lot of executives say, I didn't graduate, I dropped out, but I went back. I went back to get my bachelor's. I went back to get my master's. So the degree is phenomenal, but it's just the car. You gotta navigate it. What you heard from our founders, what you heard from Sam, what you heard from Jay, what you hear from Keith, what you hear if you ask any executive in the room, is once they got that, they then still had to navigate their career. And you heard many circuitous routes. There was no route. Most of the executives that talked to you today, I think I could bet all executives probably didn't know how they were going to get where they ended up. But they navigated well. And that was the analogy I drew.
My name is Joe Joseph from Stony Brook University. Like I said yesterday, that I'm here to learn, but also to teach, and I think this is a great opportunity to tell a lot of students that I was talking to, some of them don't know about LinkedIn, but don't know how to use social media to their advantage. So there are a lot of companies here that have, their companies on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on, different avenues to see what's going on with the company, something that's new. So if you want a way to connect with someone, you can bring up the fact that this just happened with your company a week ago. What do you think about that? And remind them in that sense, because a lot of times you don't know how to approach a situation. So that's a way that you can do that as well. And then, I don't know if anyone told you, I think we had someone say that as well, is to put what conversation you had with the person on the back of that business card and go home and give yourself a spreadsheet, get organized, and understand that you can bring up those things or look the person up afterwards and have something else to talk about as well. So,
great point. Sorry we have to end this session because we have other discussion on panels and we have other things on the agenda, but I really appreciate the participation, and if I could ask for Josie and Whitney, could you guys come up? I got a book for you guys. They've impressed me with their networking.